Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nadratul Ashikin binti Nur Azwan, metric number 264203. So I will be presenting on case 3, which is the smell, taste and touch of money and accounting policy decision. This is a list of all the contents that are included in the presentation. First, I will go over the executive summary. This report's purpose is to answering the two problems that were mentioned in the case and also to examine UPC's holding authority over its subsidiaries, the company's solvency as well as the accounting policy decision. Referring to the case, MIM Holdings is a special purpose entity set up in 2009 to pump cash to their parents UPC Berhad. All of this stemmed from an investment decision that was made by MIM in late 2017, in which the investment was financed through a mix of financing arrangements, included Islamic bank loan amounted to 40 million ringgit and the injection fund from the parent. UPC committed 18 million ringgit to the venture's initial capital. Aina was caught in the middle by two competing views, where the external auditor for MIM, MJ and Associates urged her to treat the fund as an equity since UPC is MIM's parent company, while the UPC's external auditor see the fund as a debt that MIM should have paid to UPC since it was an obligation. The fund was eventually identified as a debt. Surprisingly, the initial article of MIM's constitution did not include equity other than ordinary shares. Companies Act 2016 was expected to be followed. Meanwhile, in year 2019, another stunning revelation occurs in which the external auditor KHR drew attention to the material uncertainty related to going concern of MIM as the independent auditor's report stressed that the group's current liabilities exceed its current assets. Now is the moment to deal with the main problem. In order to address this issue, the distinctions between debt and equity must first be defined. Figure shows the difference between debt and equity capital in detail. Debt is money raised by a firm in the form of borrowed capital. It indicates that the company owes money towards another person or entity and must be returned at the end of the agreed upon term, whereas equity in finance refers to a company's net worth. The following slide will present a table comparing the features of both debt and equity. In the case of MIM, since they are not able to qualify the debt financing due to its credit history, the losses for 3 years in a row, I would suggest them to recognize the injected fund as an equity. This might be the only way for funds to finance growth. The risk would be lower as they don't have any fixed monthly loan payments to make. We move to the fundamental issue regarding the parent's authority. True fact is, UPC would have the control over MIM as a parent based on MFRS 10. They already have the authority and overuse it to order the necessary action, which has a significant impact on MIM's profits. As an evidence, we can refer to the case in which UPC definitely used its influence over MIM to acquire an investment in 2017. This is owing to the appealing selling price, which is below fair value and will benefit MIM's investment committee as well as UPC's board of directors. The problem did not end here. UPC then fiercely refused to acknowledge the money injection as an extra capital contribution. It arose from a desire to lessen MIM's financial reliance on the parent. They were only provided MIM with a short-term funding agreement because they anticipated MIM would be able to repay the funds injected from the investment return. MIM has no recourse. Eventually, the injection fund was classified as financial liability, in which provide for mandatory redemption for a fixed or returnable amount at a fixed or specific through future debt, or give the holders the right to require the issuer to redeem the instruments at or after a particular date for a fixed or returnable amount. The next concern is regarding the maintenance of capital. Section 72 subsection 4 of the Company Act 2016 mentioned that preference shares can now be redeemed out of capital of the company. Preference shares can only be redeemed if they have been fully paid for and the firm has demonstrated its solvency under the Companies Act 2016. In the instance of MIM, it is crucial for the company to understand the characteristics of ordinary and preference shares. Ordinary shares are the most prevalent sort of stock in a firm according to the definition in Section 2. Section 71 of the Company Act 2016, shown in the slide, stress the rights for the holder of share other than preference shares. To conclude, preference shares will have rights and qualities that differ from ordinary shares. MIM are declared as insolvent since they did not comply with the Section 112 subsection 2 of the Company Act 2016 as their financial statement showed losses for 3 years in a row. As a result, they cannot redeem the preference shares due to the debt. This may provide an answer to the first problem statement in the next slide. I have completed an analysis by calculating certain ratios, including quick ratio, current ratio, and so forth, in order to determine the solvency of the company, which respond to the second problem statement. The ratios outcomes are shown below. To minimize the time, I will simply discuss the two most relevant ratios, which is debt equity ratio and also debt to capital ratio in the next slide. Debt equity ratio compares company's total debt to its total equity. As shown in the chart, MIM's debt equity ratio has been steadily expanding from 2017 to 2019, which is concerning. The higher the ratio, the more debt a company has. As a result, MIM will become insolvent and the company will be unable to redeem the preferred shares. Next, debt to capital ratio. This ratio is to measure the financial leverage of a company by dividing a company's total debt by its total capital. MIM's debt to capital ratio is steadily rising, showing that it is significantly reliant on debt to fund its operations. This is a terrible portent because it will deplete the company's solvency, preventing the preferred shares from being redeemed. So these are all the external sources I've been used in this case study. So that's all from me. Thank you.